Welcome back to Tech Timekeeper. I wanted to go over something that really is key to finding out if you've missed any hours or you're not getting paid for hours that you would be expecting to get paid for. So I wanted to do a video specifically about how I do this. And so at the end of the pay period, I would assume you're getting a list of all your repair orders, the hours, and everything. And obviously you want to verify that, right? So the way I do that is I'll get my hours, and for the sake of what's on there, I'm not going to show that. However, whatever you get from your employer should have some kind of list of ROs, or if you're at a dealership, a lot of times you can go in and it'll run that report for you in your DMS. So I've got mine over here, and sometimes they fall perfectly on the days that we have here, but if a customer picks up maybe a day later or something, or a couple days later, it doesn't always show up on the days that we have them as we finished them. So that's why it can be a little tricky sometimes. But so the ones I'm going to go over here, this was back beginning of November here. So this says this RO was 11/3. I click on 11/3. And it's not showing up. So it's probably a day or two before that. However, if you're having trouble finding it, where you don't want to look at it that way, you can come in here and just search for it. So this one happens to be 39842, and it shows you without clicking on anything. 11/2 is the date, so I can just back up a day. So that'll quickly get you to one you're not seeing. The other way, of course, is if you know your pay period is from ours are Saturday through the second Friday afterwards. So like if this was the pay period, it would be here. So 1 week, 2 weeks. Ours would have started on here, the 30th, which of course I didn't work. So it would come down to here. Now you can always come in and just say, okay, from this day, and start looking through your list of paid repair orders, and then just come down and click them through. You can absolutely do that. I find that sometimes, every once in a while, there'll be something that I missed that they have, and sometimes there's things that that I have that they missed. So you can do it this way. I typically go down from their list because I want to see what's missing on my side, or I can say, wait a minute, I don't even have that one. So I find it's more efficient to start with their list and go down. So again, I'm just going to go back to the second because that's where that RO was, and I'm going to look, and mine says this was a 2011 BMW 750, and it was 4 hours. All right, so that's correct. I'm just going to select paid. Now it's showed in the system as I've been paid for this one. And so you can go down the list that way. If it does make it easier for you, you can just come down and say, okay, on that day, also at RO 40173, and yes, I have that, and it was showing 3.5 hours. Okay, that one's correct as well. 147, that's on there for an hour. That's correct. 204 is on there for 1.9. That's correct. And so you can just go through that way. Obviously, again, I had the day before, so there's going to be someone there that way. So that will run you through pretty quick to make sure that you've got all the ones on yours. Now, that'll do fine as far as making sure that everything you have sent them is there. So if I just go through and say, yes, all of these are on there. When I get done, if those aren't in the exact order from, on the other sheet that they give you, then you could be not seeing everything. Or if you print that off or something, you could always check them off or something, or mark them out, and then you'll know for sure. And you get done, and you can say, oh wait, they had something on here that I didn't see. So whichever way you decide to do it, you want to make sure you go through and mark these paid if you want to use it this way, because once this is all said and done, we're going to run a report, and inside the report, you're going to have the option to see what you've been paid for and what you have not been paid for. So that's why, the other thing you could do is say, okay, this pay period was from October 30th through November 12th. Calculate that. 108.2, go to the bottom of your thing. I'm showing 113.5. So I got paid for more than I'm showing here. So the reason that's important to me is, did I get paid for something that I'm thinking is on the next paycheck, which is going to throw my hours off? Or did I miss something? The other thing is sometimes they'll add something in, and these mistakes happen, right? They paid the wrong person. So what if they paid me and I wasn't supposed to get paid? If I can catch that now and say, hey, by the way, did I do this and I miss it, or did you put the wrong tech down? If you do that up front, one, you're not later on being like, why did I get this time taken away from me? And then you're, because you're upset then. And then it's like, well, you didn't do that job. And you're like, oh, well, now you already feel like you got paid for something. Now you're getting money taken away from you. Well, you're just getting money that wasn't yours taken back. So if I know beforehand and I can bring it up, I can either verify, okay, yes, that's supposed to be there and I missed it, or hey, let's get this corrected, which helps correct it for the other guy, for them, and you don't have money taken away later. So it's nice to be able to verify it, so you don't see that come, you don't see yourself getting paid for something and then of course not have it. So that is something to keep in mind as well. So now that I know that's off, I definitely want to go through and do all of these. You could just say, so I've seen guys that just, 108.2, this is 113.5. That's close enough, man. I'm good with that. It's more than I had anyway, so I'll move on. And they don't ever use this feature, and that's fine. However you want to do it is completely fine. I like to know if I've missed something. But the whole point of this software is, if, let's say it was the other way around. Let's say I had 113.5 and they paid me for 108.2. Well, now I want my other 5 hours, right? 5 hours, that's a decent amount of money for most of us. So, we want to be able to catch those things and send them to them. If you don't keep up with this, that's going to be really hard, because it's going to be like, oh, and then they're going to go back and be like, well, we paid you for that on this, and again, that's why I want to make sure the other way as well. If they're showing more, if I need to pull that already paid on the next check, maybe I closed it out on the next Saturday on the 13th, and they went ahead and closed it out for that pay period for whatever reason. Then at least I know not to count those hours towards what I have for my next check. So that's just some kind of the way that I do those. If you have any other thoughts, suggestions, ideas on that, feel free to reach out. I created this around things that would help me and what I thought would do well. It doesn't mean that it's the best way for everybody, or even the best way, period. You have ideas, thoughts, suggestions, feel free to use that feedback button. You can, of course, at the bottom, you can contact us. However you want to do it, social media, reach out, let us know, give us your thoughts, your ideas, and I'd love to make this software, this service even better as it goes on.